Hello students, in this video I'll be talking about the Cadbury report on corporate governance. The establishment of the Cadbury Committee in May 1991 was actually a joint effort of the Financial Reporting Council, the London Stock Exchange, and the accounting professionals, which arose in response of the occurrence of the financial scandals in the early 90s, where three big corporations, namely the Maxwell, BCCI and the Polypic in the UK suddenly collapsed in the 1991, which actually led to a fall in the investors' confidence in the quality of financial reporting. And hence, the committee, that is the Cadbury Committee report, was placed under the chairmanship of Sir Adrian Cadbury. Hence, the formation of this Cadbury Committee can be seen as a reactive one rather than a proactive one. The committee issued its report in 1992. The Code of Best Practices designed by the committee had 19 recommendations set out under the headings of the role of Board of Directors, duties of Board of Directors and its compositions, role of non-executive directors, dealing with the remunerations, addressing questions of financial reporting and financial controls. As far as the role of Board of Directors is concerned, the recommendations were that the board should meet regularly, retain full and effective control over the company, and monitor the executive management. There should be a clearly accepted division of responsibility at the head of the company, which will ensure a balance of power and authority such that no individual has unfettered power of decision. Ideally, the roles of chairman and chief executives should be separated. Although this may not always be practicable in many cases, but in some cases or wherever possible, there should be a strong and an independent element on the board. The board should include non-executive directors and sufficient caliber and number further views to carry out significant weight in the board's decision was very important. Next, about the non-executive directors. Non-executive directors or outside directors, as the committee's chairman preferred to call them, should bring an independent judgment to bear an issue of strategy, performance, resource, including key appointments and standard of conduct. The majority of non-executive directors should be independent of management and free from any business or other relationship which could materially interfere with the exercise of their independent judgment apart from their fees and shareholding. Non-executive directors should be appointed by a formal procedure and their appointment should be a matter for the board as a whole. Appointments should be specific and for particular terms, and reappointments should not be automatic. Dealing with the remuneration, it was decided that shareholders required that the remuneration of directors should be both fair and competitive. The annual general meeting should provide the opportunities for the shareholders to make the views on such matters as directors' benefits known to their boards, and the shareholders' approval towards this is very important. As far as the financial reporting and financial controls are concerned, it is the board's duty to present a balanced and understandable assessment of the company's position. The board should ensure that an objective and professional relationship is to be maintained with the auditors. The board should establish an audit committee which should consist of at least three non-executive directors. Originally, the committee referred to the annual audit as one of the cornerstones of the corporate governance. The director should report on the effectiveness of the company's system of internal control, and the directors should report that the business is a going concern with supporting assumptions or qualifications necessary. And just to sum up, the major recommendations made by the committee are as follows: that no individual on board to have unfettered, unlimited powers of decision. The majority of non-executive directors should be independent of management and free from any business or other relationship. Non-executive directors should be appointed for specific term. Service contracts should not exceed more than 3 years. Executives' remuneration should be subjected to the recommendations of a remuneration committee made up entirely of non-executive directors. The interim committee company report should give the balance sheet information and review by the auditor. The information regarding the audit fees should be made public, and there should be regular rotation of the auditors. Any object and professional relationship with the auditor must be ensured. It must be reported that a business is a growing concern. Thank you.